In the earliest days of the United States, the idea of a powerful navy seemed like a distant dream. When the American Revolution ended, the Continental Navy was disbanded. The new nation was wary of large, expensive military forces. Leaders like Thomas Jefferson believed a standing army or navy could threaten the very liberty they had just fought for. So, for a time, America's vast coastline and its growing number of merchant ships were left largely unprotected. The reality of this vulnerability became painfully clear very quickly. Out on the high seas, American merchant vessels became easy targets. Barbary pirates began seizing ships and holding American sailors for ransom. This was a direct challenge to the sovereignty and economic survival of the new United States. The pirates demanded tribute, a payment for safe passage. The debate in Congress shifted from whether a navy was necessary to how quickly one could be built. This pressure led to a pivotal moment in 1794. President George Washington signed the Naval Act. This legislation authorized the construction of 6 powerful frigates. Ships like the USS Constitution, nicknamed Old Ironsides, were symbols of American ingenuity and resolve. Every major conflict in American history has served as a crucible for its navy, testing its limits and forcing it to evolve. The War of 1812 was a defining moment. Pitted against the colossal Royal Navy, the young U.S. Navy was a massive underdog. A series of stunning single-ship duels, USS Constitution, USS United States. These wins did more than just sink enemy ships. They provided an enormous boost to national morale. They proved that American sailors and shipbuilders were among the best in the world, capable of standing up to a superpower. The American Civil War brought about another profound transformation. It was the first major war to feature ironclad warships, USS Monitor, CSS Virginia. The Union's successful naval blockade of the Confederacy, the Anaconda Plan, was instrumental in its victory. The turn of the 20th century saw America emerge as a global power. President Theodore Roosevelt believed a powerful navy was essential to that role. Inspired by the writings of Alfred Thayer Mahan, the crowning achievement was the voyage of the Great White Fleet from 1907 to 1909. Sent on a goodwill tour around the world, it was a demonstration of industrial might and naval capability. For centuries, the battleship was the undisputed queen of the seas. Naval power was measured by how many battleships a nation could field and the size of their cannons. But on December 7, 1941, at Pearl Harbor, that entire doctrine was shattered in a matter of hours. The Japanese attack, carried out entirely by aircraft launched from carriers, showed the world a new way of waging war at sea. The age of the battleship was over. The age of the aircraft carrier had begun, and the U.S. Navy would be the one to perfect its use. The United States rapidly adapted to this new reality. The nation's industrial capacity was mobilized to produce aircraft carriers at a breathtaking pace. The Pacific War became a series of epic carrier battles. Coral Sea, Midway. They launched waves of dive bombers, torpedo bombers, fighters. The carrier was no longer just a ship, it was a mobile airbase. The modern aircraft carrier is the centerpiece of American naval power, a floating city and symbol of global reach. A Nimitz-class or Ford-class carrier is over 1,000 feet long and powered by 2 nuclear reactors. Virtually unlimited range and endurance, its flight deck is a marvel, launching and recovering aircraft every 30 to 45 seconds using steam or electromagnetic catapults. Carrying over 75 aircraft, including advanced fighter jets, electronic warfare planes, helicopters, a single carrier can project more air power than most entire nations possess. While aircraft carriers command the surface of the ocean, an equally important component of U.S. naval dominance operates in the crushing darkness of the deep. This is the world of the submarine, the silent service. Modern U.S. submarines are technological masterpieces combining stealth, endurance, and immense firepower. They're divided into 2 main types: attack submarines designed to hunt enemy ships and other submarines, and ballistic missile submarines, which carry the most powerful weapons ever created. The primary advantage of a submarine is its ability to remain hidden. Using advanced sound-dampening technology, they can glide through the ocean virtually undetected, gathering intelligence or positioning for an attack. The boomers, or ballistic missile submarines, also known as SSBNs, are the most survivable leg of America's nuclear triad. Each Ohio-class submarine carries up to 20 Trident II-D5 ballistic missiles, and each missile can carry multiple nuclear warheads capable of striking targets thousands of miles away. The entire purpose of these submarines is deterrence. Their locations are one of the most closely guarded secrets in the U.S. military. At any given moment, a number of these vessels are on patrol, hidden in the vastness of the world's oceans. Attack submarines, or SSNs, like the Virginia-class and Seawolf-class, are the ultimate predators of the undersea domain. They are the Navy's eyes and ears in contested waters, capable of tracking enemy fleets, monitoring communications, and inserting special operations forces. A Navy is more than just its ships and submarines. Its true strength lies in its people. The U.S. Navy invests enormous resources into training its sailors. This training begins in boot camp and continues throughout a sailor's career. They train on advanced navigation, complex weapon systems, and damage control. Realistic and relentless. Nowhere is this clearer than naval aviation and special warfare. Naval aviators endure grueling training, landing a jet on a pitching carrier deck, a controlled crash. Navy SEALs training is legendary for its difficulty. That dedication is a core reason for the Navy's dominance. The force doesn't stay in home ports. The U.S. Navy maintains a constant global presence. Dozens of ships are deployed worldwide. South China Sea, Persian Gulf. Forward deployment lets the Navy respond immediately to natural disaster requiring humanitarian aid or a hostile action that threatens international stability. Presence reassures allies and shows commitment. Ships, bases, and alliances form a global network and strategic advantage. The logistical tail is the unsung hero. Carrier strike groups and submarine patrols stay on station for extended periods, maintaining pressure and gathering intelligence. While the U.S. Navy is undeniably a formidable fighting force, its mission extends far beyond combat. One of its most important roles today is safeguarding the world's oceans to ensure freedom of navigation. The global economy runs on maritime trade. About 90% of all international trade travels by sea, through critical choke points like the Strait of Hormuz, the Suez Canal, the Strait of Malacca. The U.S. Navy patrols these vital waterways, deterring piracy. This mission underpins the entire system of global commerce, from which every country benefits immensely. The Navy is also one of America's first responders when disaster strikes anywhere in the world. An aircraft carrier is far more than a weapon of war. It's a floating city with its own hospital, power generation, and fresh water capability, and helicopters that move massive amounts of supplies. Following devastating events like the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami or the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, U.S. Navy ships were among the first on the scene. They delivered tons of food, water, and medical supplies. The Navy also plays a crucial role in scientific research and exploration. Its vessels and submarines map the ocean floor and launch AUVs. That data supports the global scientific community. Finally, the U.S. Navy builds security and cooperation through partnerships with navies around the world. It conducts joint exercises like RIMPAC, Rim of the Pacific, bringing dozens of countries together. Training with allies creates a global network that tackles piracy, smuggling, and terrorism. Today, in 2025, the world is arguably more complex and uncertain than it has been in decades. New challenges are emerging. The rise of peer competitors with their own advanced navies, the growing threat of cyber warfare, sophisticated anti-ship missiles. In this environment, the U.S. Navy's role as a stabilizing force is more critical than ever. The open, rules-based international order was not an accident. It has been actively underwritten and protected by American sea power. The freedom for nations to trade and interact without fear of coercion is a direct result of the security the U.S. Navy provides. This dominance should not be taken for granted. Maintaining such a powerful and technologically advanced fleet requires a staggering and sustained investment. It demands a commitment to building the next generation of ships, submarines, and aircraft. It requires continued innovation to stay ahead of potential adversaries. The future of naval power will be defined by new technologies. Unmanned systems on the surface, unmanned systems underwater. Artificial intelligence will help commanders make faster, better decisions. Directed energy weapons, like lasers, could one day render missiles obsolete. The U.S. Navy is at the forefront of developing these new capabilities. Ultimately, the real reason the U.S. Navy dominates the seas is a combination of history, technology, training, and purpose. In an unpredictable future, the steady presence of an American aircraft carrier on the horizon will remain one of the most powerful symbols of stability and security the world has.